I want you to take a moment to imagine that you are in a multiverse, and that you and your doppelganger are both journeying down an unexplored path in different worlds. Consider, on the other hand, the possibility that the timelines of your universes converge for some reason. Therefore, what do you believe will take place? In any case, the well-known theoretical physicist Michio Kaku asserts that when the crossover takes place, our memories will be saturated with knowledge from both universes. From both of your perspectives, this will give the impression that you have visited this location before. The buildings, houses, and parks that are all in your immediate vicinity are all familiar views. That is correct. It would be similar to what we refer to as a déjà vu. Welcome, cosmic enthusiasts, to another mind-bending journey with Spaceverse. Today, get ready to embark on an extraordinary journey as we unveil groundbreaking evidence of the existence of the multiverse. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join our spacefaring community as we voyage through the cosmos together. One study conducted by the University of Zagreb in Croatia discovered that 79% of people on the planet have experienced something similar. Is it possible that this feeling of déjà vu is the result of an unpopular reason, including the multiverse? Currently, this is nothing more than a hypothesis or an allegation. There is no evidence that we have found to support this claim as of yet. However, we have found proof that pertains to one particular case. The idea is that it is possible that there is a multiverse. The multiverse that has only existed in theory up until this moment is the same multiverse that you are referring to, my friends. I will assume that you are familiar with videos from the multiverse. On this particular argument, the burden of proof is quite great. How come? Because it is impossible for us to know anything about the universe that is beyond our own. On the other hand, the extreme edge of our universe is beyond the purview of our visual sense. Therefore, what exactly is the universe, and how can its existence be demonstrated? Experts from Trento University in Italy have conducted an experiment that has produced experimental confirmation of the existence of the multiverse. This experiment was carried out by the experts. In fact, a user on Reddit related the story of a woman's experience with multiverse in the year 2017. This can only be explained by the existence of several universes. You will be the one to reveal that. On the other hand, we ought to be mindful of these occurrences. In the year 2017, a user of Reddit related a narrative that involved the multiverse. You are going to be taken aback by this in every way. The lady in issue claimed that her husband's parallel self had sent her a text message from an alternate universe. She said that the message had been sent to her from the alternate reality. In 2017, a woman's phone received a text message, which was a real-life incident that took place. Who exactly is this person? When she went to examine the message, she saw that her husband's phone number was included on the message. On the other hand, her hubby was slept soundly on the opposite side of the bungalow where they were staying. In addition to that, he kept his phone on the table next to him. So whose message was it exactly? Her natural inquisitiveness led her to question about the reason for the communication with the person who had sent it. The response was that although I have your phone number saved in my phone, I am not familiar with you. That is the reason why I sent the mail. After then, the woman asked to know the reason why her phone had saved her number. Wi-Fi with a heart, the sender answered to the inquiry. When she heard this response, she was taken aback. It is just her husband that refers to her as Wi-Fi. No one else uses this name. If that is the case, then the person who sent the message was most likely her spouse. On the other hand, she checked her phone later that afternoon after she had informed her husband about the event and found out that she had not sent any message of this nature. However, to her astonishment, this new message remained below the sender's message in her wife's phone as soon as she communicated it to her for the purpose of cross-checking, which in point of fact was rather peculiar. This incident could have been caused by a wide variety of factors. On the other hand, a notion that is comparable to the concept of déjà vu posits that her history might have collided with the timeline of her first husband in a parallel dimension. It is possible that this is the reason why the two versions have become dependent on one another. I would like to know your thoughts on this explanation, my friends. How realistic do you think this explanation is in your opinion? Is it possible that there is a more rational explanation? According to my point of view, this is not accurate. I am, however, interested in hearing your thoughts on the matter. Let's shift gears now that we've covered the amazing and the speculative, and go on to the real tests that have confirmed the existence of the multiverse. Friends, if we want to find out whether or not there is a multiverse, we need to return to the Big Bang Theory, taking into consideration the fact that the Big Bang concept is still generally misunderstood. This is due to the fact that the majority of films barely cover 50% of the Big Bang concept, which explains why this is the case. Now, my dear friends, the general view is that the universe began to rapidly expand after the Big Bang happened, beginning at a time that is equal to 10 to the power of 30 seconds. In other words, inflation, which is sometimes referred to as the cosmic inflation stage, was present. Inflation was the driving force behind the expansion to its current shape. The formation of the cosmos, on the other hand, is not yet complete. You will be able to comprehend the formation of the universe and the multiverse if you have a thorough understanding of its reality. The reason for this is that the origin myth of our universe actually conceals the story of how the multiverse came into existence. Cosmologists believe that in the time leading up to the Big Bang, all of the energy was concentrated in a single location. Because of this, the point was in a very vulnerable position. As addition to this, it occurred as a single cataclysmic event that is commonly referred to as the Big Bang. Both explosion and rapid expansion of space refer to the same phenomenon in their respective senses. In order to simplify the process of describing it, I will state that it is an explosion. Remember that the amount of area available here was expanding at a rapid rate. Following the Big Bang, the universe did not instantly come into being in the form that we would recognize it today. Empty space was the only thing that was expanding at this point in time. The universe changed during the course of time. Whatever the case may be, after the Big Bang, space began to expand, and the energy that was contained in that little place started to disperse equally throughout the expanding cosmos. At this stage, the developing area looks to be relatively stable and serene when viewed from the outside looking in the same manner as the milk on gas seems to be quite stable and calm with no apparent disturbances. This, however, is not how things actually operate in the real world. In response to the energy that it is getting, the particles that are located at the bottom of the milk begin to heat up and rise to the surface through the process of convection. This is the location where individuals can unwind and take it easy. However, there are two methods in which those particles can achieve this goal. If you want to get started, you should take advantage of convection and start at the bottom and work your way up. Moreover, the second step is to go to the top by utilizing the milk bubbles that you have created. A lower amount of energy is possessed by particles that move via bubbles as opposed to those that travel directly to the surface. The bubbles have areas within them in which there is nothing present, which is the reason for this phenomenon, as opposed to the surrounding particles of hot milk, which have a lower amount of energy. The boiling milk, which at first appearance looks to be more stable, is really less stable than the bubbles. This is because of the previously mentioned reason. This is also comparable to the universe that we live in. It is believed by cosmologists that the milk begins to produce bubbles when the particles within it start to vibrate in a gentle manner as a result of the energy that it becomes exposed to. Quantum fluctuations, also known as vibrations in space-time, originated from the fact that the energy that we get from the Big Bang is produced at the same instant. It was also in these regions that a great number of stable bubble universes were produced. On the other hand, where can I locate evidence of this? Friend Zenassini and his colleagues at Trento University in Italy have shown scientifically this year that the bubble universe theory, which was initially proposed in 1977, is accurate. In point of fact, in 1977, the American particle scientist Sidney Coleman put up a post-Big Bang universe after theory. According to this theory, the current universe, which seems to be relatively stable, is probably stable because it has overcome a significant energy barrier, exactly like a conventional chemical reaction. This gives the impression that the universe is stable. In point of fact, in order for a chemical reaction to take place, which is the kind of reaction in which two or more reactants combine to form a product, the reactants must first take in a significant quantity of energy. The term activation energy is another name for this type of energy. Nevertheless, after obtaining this energy, it undergoes a transformation that results in a product that is more stable and departs from its initial shape. The reason why Sidney came to the conclusion that such an event would have taken place after the Big Bang is because of this. According to his hypothesis, after the Big Bang, our universe entered a condition of vacuum that was stable but deceiving on the surface. Nevertheless, with some degree of instability. This is the reason why the matter in our universe gained an energy boost when chemical reactions started taking place in this faux vacuum matter, which ultimately led to the production of galaxies, stars, and everything else in between. After passing through the energy mountain and entering a state that was even more stable, known as true vacuum, it was possible for planets and other celestial bodies to come into being. It was precisely this process that resulted in the formation of the universe as we know it here and now. Nevertheless, none of these explanations mention my pals the multiverse or bubbles in any of the explanations. Within the context of this logical narrative, where does this therefore make sense? As it turns out, Sydney has discovered that the particles that are present in boiling milk can cool down in one of two different ways. In the heated milk, you have the option of either remaining in the milk and rising slowly or forming bubbles and rising quickly. In the same way, the constituents of our universe had two choices available to them in order to dissipate the energy that they had acquired as a result of the Big Bangs and to settle into a stable state. In the beginning, there was the ordinary Big Bang theory, which only described the process by which the cosmos eventually became stable after it had passed through an energy barrier. Furthermore, they were able to successfully generate bubbles and achieve a stable low-energy state, which is comparable to the conditions that certain intelligent milk particles experienced. According to Sydney, the first possibility is the only way for objects in the universe to come close to being stable on a macroscopic level. Ultramicroscopic quantum particles, on the other hand, are not subject to this condition. Atoms, electrons, photons, and quarks are all capable of performing quantum tunneling or taking a shortcut through the center of that energy mountain when they are operating at the ultramicroscopic level. The amount of stability that they reach is comparable to that of bubbles in milk. To conclude, the genuine event that occurred when a small subset of the universe's original particles were able to achieve stability through the use of quantum tunneling was that they formed an endless number of bubble universes. After this instant in time, the universe appeared to be a collection of bubble universes, including our own, all of which were created in the same Big Bang. The beginning of everything? In my opinion, it is still at this moment. Now that we've gone over the process by which the multiverse came into existence, let's move on to the most important question of the day. What were the methods that the researchers at Trento University in Italy used to build a multiverse that was filled of bubble universes in their little laboratory? The experiment that they conducted utilized sodium gas, which served as a substitute for the expanding universe that occurred after the Big Bang. For the purpose of accurately reproducing the artificial vacuum conditions that exist throughout the universe, the gas was then subjected to a process of supercooling until it reached a state that was homogeneous and exceedingly stable. This state is referred to as the Bose-Einstein condensate. In the end, this BC possesses the property that its atoms will align in the magnetic field in line with their spins whenever it is subjected to the magnetic field. At the same time that bubble universes were formed in the laboratory by delivering energy to this gas, it was stored in a container that was firmly sealed and placed inside of a powerful magnetic field. This was done in order to simulate the Big Bang phenomenon. At this same moment, a laboratory experiment was started with the purpose of constructing universes out of bubbles. The reason for this is that after this, but before bubble universes emerged, scientists started beaming radiation on this magnetic field back in order to trigger energy fluctuations at the quantum level. This took place after this. It was later observed that when the fixed frequency of these radiations hits delta F, a few atoms at the center of the back, which were producing bubbles at the time, suddenly achieve a more stable state than the initial cell. This was a significant discovery. It was readily apparent to them that particular Beck atoms were undergoing a transition from a false vacuum to a genuine vacuum. At this point, however, there is a further question that arises. How is it possible for atoms to enter a state of low energy when they are subjected to radiation? If we are able to see them, they should, in your opinion, attain a state of tremendous intensity. Do you agree with this statement? Now please brief me on what took place. Pay attention, the scientists were the ones who initially produced the magnetic field. And now the entire game in this artificial universe that was created in the lab revolves around it. Permit me to elaborate at this time. What exactly would take place if you were to insert a second smaller magnet into the middle of this one? As soon as the small magnet comes into contact with a larger magnet, it will readily align itself with it, so integrating into it and gaining stability simultaneously. What, however, would take place if we were to supply it with energy and cause it to spin in the opposite direction? Because going against its natural tendency violates Newton's first law of motion, it is to be expected that it will first resist. However, if you turn it upside down, it will return to its original alignment, with a large magnet splitting into two smaller magnets. The scientists simply made it even more stable by applying radiation energy, which caused some of its atoms to magnetically flip and form tiny bubbles. Thus, the experiment demonstrated that the process of inflating space creates bubbles that travel from a pseudo-vacuum to a real vacuum. As this happens, the bubbles that were generated transform into their own mini-universes. But my friends, the fundamental question is, does this prove that there is more than one universe? If you give it some critical thinking, you might find that there is a major flaw in this experiment, and that it is not a solid evidence after all. The cosmic microwave background or afterglow is what allowed scientists to piece together what happened during the Big Bang. However, additional evidence of bubble universe creation remains elusive inside the CMBR. But suppose the proof is already in CMBR. The problem is that we can't find it. The reason being that the age of the universe determined using our CMBR is incorrect, as recently demonstrated by jwst data. Based on these findings, the cosmos appears to be twice as ancient as it actually is. At this point, what does the data actually reveal? Because of what reasons do scientists believe the cosmos is twice as old? Remember when they determined the universe's age? A heartfelt thank you for being here with us today as we come to the end of our journey at Spaceverse. Your support is what drives our investigation of the cosmos. Remember to hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel so that you can continue to explore with us. See you until the next time we cross paths in the cosmos.